Okay, for grilling with your self-cooking center, we're going to use our Diamond and Grill Grate. This is a Trilax coated grill. No need to go and fire up the traditional charbroiler when you were working with a Diamond grill here, or even our regular straight grill. For the Diamond and Grill Grate, you can see that we have a classic diamond pattern here on one side. If you turn it over, you've got a straight pattern if that appearance is more desired. So I'm simply going to go ahead and I'm going to prep the self-cooking center here. I'm going to tell the self-cooking center what I'm cooking. So now I'm going to go to the meat button, and then I'm going to select grill. From there, I'm going to go ahead and tell it that it's going to go thick because I want to use the core temperature probe. I would like to go to coloration number 4. You have a selection from 1 to 5 on the coloration, and we're going to cook it to a nice medium rare. We're going to go to 110 degrees internal temperature because we will be carrying over when it comes out. So I'm going to go ahead. I have our steaks here, our New Yorks, already seasoned with salt and pepper. So we'll load those onto the Diamond grill. The nice thing about, or the important thing to know about the Diamond grills, we don't want to overload the steaks on here. So we only want to load the grill about 80% of the way because it's important for the air to be able to run and hit the grill here so we get the temperature underneath and get those nice grill marks there. So just like your grill at home or your grill in your kitchen today, if you load them too tightly, the performance of the grill goes down. So we'll go ahead and spread those out just a little bit, giving them enough room to breathe. The self-cooking center is now indicating that it's preheated. You can see the indication bar here is just about full. Now it's asking me to load. Here you can see that it's asking to load step 2 out of 4 in the cockpit that it's showing, and we also have the light flashing inside there to give us a visual indication. So I'll pop open the door. Here you can see that it's actually asking me to insert the core temperature probe. Go ahead and load our grill in there. I'm going to go ahead and use a drip pan underneath there. And the core temperature probe is good and hot right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pull that out. And now what I want to do is I want to just insert that core temperature probe right into the steak, making sure I get through the center of it, and I want to cover as many centers as possible. So now when I go ahead and plop that back on the grill there and close the door, you can see that the self-cooking center is indicating that it's going to be approximately 11 minutes to cook this product, or to grill the steaks. So we're going to go ahead and give it a chance to let the monitor run here, and for it to detect a couple of things. One, it's going to figure out how big are the steaks is it cooking, and how many is it cooking at one time. Once we've given the self-cooking center a second to make those determinations, it'll send a message back to us and tell us if it's making any adjustments. So let's go and check our monitor to see if we've received any messages here. You can see when we look at the cockpit that we've got approximately 3 minutes left. Right now the steak is 79 degrees internal temperature, and we're cooking it to that 110. It'll buzz when it hits 1.9 just to account for that quick carryover for me to get back to the door. So now when I go to the monitor here, I'm going to go ahead and select that. You can see here that I've actually received a message that the self-cooking center has actually reduced the cooking time from its 11 minutes that it originally had planned to cook it for, down 3 minutes and 57 seconds. So what that's saying to me is, or what the self-cooking center is telling us, is that it realizes that these are a petite steak. It realizes that it's not a very large load inside. So what's happening is it's having to remove cooking time in order to meet my setting of number 4 coloration and medium rare 110 degrees internal temperature. So we can go back from the settings back to the cockpit so we can see what's happening live here. Right now you can see that the self-cooking center is dehumidifying. It's actually removing humidity from the cabinet, because now it's telling us that it's only allowing 30% of the moisture to remain. The 30% is coming from the steaks it's actually cooking inside of there. We're not adding any moisture. We're actually regulating and dehumidifying to that dryness, or to dehumidify to create those grill marks. So now if I go back to my monitor again, just to reiterate, the self-cooking center has used its intelligence. It figured out how big is the product, how much is it cooking at one time, and it reduced the cook time down by 3 minutes and 57 seconds. So you can see here now, if we go back to our cockpit, the hourglass is running, but only 1 minute is remaining. Right now the internal temperature is 100 degrees. We're right now cooking at 575 degrees using dry air, and we're dehumidifying the cabinet. We're only allowing 30% of the moisture coming from the steaks to remain. When that moisture goes above 30%, the self-cooking center regulates its environment to give us that precision and control. can see now we're at 105 degrees in just a few seconds here. It's giving us another message here to tell us that to follow, it's going to give us an option. Let's say I was cooking, I had petite steaks and a larger steak going if I was doing a banquet right now and I was cooking these steaks a la carte. When the buzzer goes off for the smaller steaks, I could go ahead and remove those, reinsert the probe into the larger steaks, tell it to continue cooking, and the self-cooking center will continue cooking those steaks without adding additional color. So now you can see that I have zeros. The buzzer is going off here. It's telling me that it's done. The light is flashing in the internal cooking cabinet. I'm gonna pop the door, let the hood capture the smoke. You can see that our actual cook time here was 6 minutes. So now we can go ahead, and what we'll do is we're going to remove the core temperature probe. Okay, out comes the probe. Now I'm going to take the core temperature probe and I'm going to place it back in its holster. Remove my drip pan. Remove our New York strips. We can see here that we have a lovely diamond grill pattern. So we'll let those steaks rest just a little bit and we'll carve into them and we'll see how our doneness is looking. While that's resting, I want to go ahead and program this unit. Okay? So in order to do that, what we can do is we can save these results very simply just by hitting the notepad. So I'm going to select the notepad and then I'm going to go and I'm going to say New York strip. We could even call that grilled steak, because if it was a filet, if it was a ribeye, if it was a larger New York, it doesn't matter. What I'm looking for is the grill pattern and the doneness on the inside. The self-cooking center will figure out the difference between the thickness of those steaks and make its adjustments automatically to make sure that they're all coming out the same every single time. Here you can see that I have New York strip already programmed in there. If I wanted to go find this again next time, all I would have to do is go to my menu button here, find the actual program they're looking for, select it. The self-cooking center is telling them to close the door. Now it's going to repeat the process time and time again. So let's see how we're looking inside. So there you can see we've got a beautiful medium rare steak. We've got our grill pattern on the outside, nice grilled flavor, and a perfect doneness inside.